Ahlan wa sahlan kwa mara nyingine mtazamaji wa ODTV. Natumai una mwaka mpya wa 2022, mwaka bomba kabisa. Karibu tena katika kipindi chako cha Ochola, kipindi ambacho huwa kinadadisi, kuchambua na kuweza kumtafuta gwiji wa michezo hapa nchini Kenya. Na hii leo tuko naye Tobias Ochola, mshiriki wa kombe la AFCON mara 3, mwaka wa 88 kule Morocco, mwaka wa 90 kule Algeria, na hatimaye mwaka wa 92 akashiriki kule Senegal. Karibu sana. Welcome to Arocho Live, Tobias Ochola.
Thank you, Bwana Arocho.
Now, Tobias, kwa niaba ya mtazamaji, huyu Tobias Ochola nani? Who is Tobias Ochola?
Tobias Ochola is a Kenyan, born and bred in southern part of Nyanza, then, which is currently Homa Bay County. That is 58 years ago.
Wow, you're 58 years old
yes,
now.
I think I've eaten enough, and I believe I still have a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, because each and every one of us has his own destiny.
Okay.
Sports is part of me.
Okay.
And I believe I did what I could when I was so active.
Before we move into AFCON, because you're one of the few Kenyans who have participated in an AFCON 3 times in a row. Let's go back a bit. How did you start playing soccer?
I started playing soccer in primary school, in standard 6, then continued with it through my O-levels. I was in the first team when I joined from 1979 to 1982.
Which school was this?
That was Wangapala Secondary School.
Wangapala, South Nyanza?
Yes.
Okay.
Then by the time I was in Form 3, I was spotted by Kisumu Works. Then immediately I finished with the school in 1982. I moved to Kisumu to play for Kisumu Works.
So basically you were born and brought up in the rural of Kenya.
Yes.
How was life then? Because why am I asking this question? You realize that most of the players these days come from the urban areas of Kenya. How was it to make it from the rural areas then into top flight football?
It was not easy, but with technology, because technology started some time back, and meeting people from various parts of the country also gave me particularly opportunity to see how football is being played, and I was easily adapting to what I was seeing to help me also change what I started with. So that's those meetings helped me to kind of raise my football interest.
Let's proceed to Gor Mahia. Many know Tobias Ochola when you featured at Gor Mahia. How did you find yourself into Gor Mahia's team?
If you look at the setup in those days, that the 2 big clubs in this country, that is Gor Mahia and Leopards, have their, what we call in quotes, their recruitment areas and teams. If you go to Mombasa, Gor Mahia was recruiting from the Warriors. Then FC Leopards, they were recruiting from Faiso. You go to Nakuru, Gor Mahia had a team. Go to Kisumu, there was Hot Stars for Gor Mahia. Then partly MOW in Kakamega, and was feeding FC and Gor Mahia with players.
So what you're saying is that then there was some structural way of recruiting players, because these days we see the big teams, as you are alluding to, that is Gor Mahia, FC Leopards, Tusker, just recruiting randomly. So what you're telling me is that there was some sort of a structure of recruitment for these 2 teams?
Yes, because people believed that if you are a Luo, you need to come from Nyanza. It was very rare to get those quality and committed players from within the town setup. That was the belief. But the talents were there. There were also good players that were recruited from within Nairobi, the likes of Austin Oduor, Vigo. There are many. But the Gor Mahia had also branches away from their center, which is Nairobi. I've said Lake Warriors and Kisumu Hot Stars. where the people from rural areas, the Nyanza region, were pulled to Kisumu Hot Stars so that they can be monitored. Then they are brought into the bigger team for the people coming from Nyanza.
Gor Mahia, Tobias Ochola, this young lad from South Nyanza, you've now found yourself at Gor Mahia. How was life and how did you penetrate into the team?
Life was very sweet. Even just mentioning a name that you have been picked or you are going to join Gor Mahia, it was like the dead end of everything. You played even before you put on that uniform.
Okay.
Because
so it was pride. Then it was about the pride.
In fact, you've said it. Playing for Kisumu Hot Stars was a pride for people in Kisumu area or Nyanza. Then from there, you are being advised each and every day in training, when you meet people in the street. After here, we want to see you in Gor Mahia. So you see, it was a push. That this is the junior team of Gor Mahia. Now we want you to go to the top. And it was a drive for everybody.
As I mentioned earlier, you were one of the players who brought the only continental title in Kenya, that is the Mandela Cup. How was it? How did you people manage? Because since then, there's no any other club other than Kenya Breweries who reached the finals of the Mandela after some few years from your glory. How was it? How did you manage to do all this?
I think we did it then because there were commitment all around the team, from the playing team, the office, the fans, and the government. Because if you are playing in continental matches, you are not playing for the club, you are playing for the country. Because the name of the country first. Before you play such kind of matches, there must be a national anthem being sung. So that means you are representing a country. So that was a drive that when we were going out, government were giving us tickets, the allowances for the two weeks we are out. Then the club was also writing letters for our employers to release us, to prepare well for those continental matches. So that gave us the motisha to make sure that we achieve for what was ahead of us.
How come soccer then? Because if you ask me, I think you guys did Kenya more proud than the generations that have come. Why do you think Kenya is stagnating? Since your achievement in Mandela Cup, then we moved on. We saw Gor Mahia doing a lot of good stuff in the pitch. The national team then, there was a lot of positive energy then. What aren't we doing right these days?
One is, there are a lot of things which are not being done right. When we were playing, all the people I got in front of me when I was joining Gor Mahia, there was a period a player should have taken in a club for consistency. Because
so you think we are rushing our players?
We are rushing the players, not even rushing the players as such. You need to be in a team for a while to make you know each other well. Because if I join, assume I'm joining Gor Mahia today, then after 2 years I move to Tusker. After another 2 years I move to FC Leopards. After 2 years I move to KCB. I'm not helping myself, because a player must learn a philosophy of the coach, coaching him or her, the philosophy of that team, and the environment where he's going. Because Arocho, if I pick you today and take you to Nyanza, you'll have to know the environment first before you start exploring on what you want to know in the place where you have gone to. So the players of today, for me, we are in a rush in making money. Because if I sign for Gor Mahia for 2 years, the 2 years will elapse. I want to go and sign for Tusker, get signing on fee, then 2 years again, it's over. I move to another club, get a sign-on on fee, without knowing that changing different cultures and philosophy will stagnate your growth.
Hold it right there, Ochola. Na mtazamaji, unamsikia Tobias Ochola anasema kwamba tuna haraka kwa wachezaji wa siku za leo. Tunavuta unyunyu kidogo, tunarejea muda usiokuwa mrefu. Tukirejea tutakuwa tunaangazia AFCON, safari yao mwaka wa 88 kule Morocco, mwaka wa 90 kule Algeria, na hatimaye tueleze kule Senegal ilikuwa vipi. Usikae mbali, muda usiokuwa mrefu tunarejea.
Sana nakula chips.
Oya, pesa hapo nyuma. Oya, bada, pesa yako. Oya, lipiaga Ronaldo pia wewe.
We, chanchi yangu usiniwekee.
Tulia.
Wow.
Unadondoka mwana fika kana.
Ni game ya mwisho, multibet ingiane ama ichomeke. Swali ni, utadondoka?
Katim kena melizwa, shukisha!
Dondoka visimpo na OdiBets cash out. Wekelea bet, dondoka anytime. OdiBets, bet extraordinary.
Ndio manake.
Karibu tena mtazamaji katika awamu ya pili, kipindi chako cha Arocho Live, kipindi ambacho kinadadisi na kuweza kumleta gwiji wa michezo. Na hii leo kama ndo unaungana nasi, tuko naye Tobias Ochola, beki wa Kenya ambaye aliweza kunawiri miaka hiyo ya 80 na kuanzisha miaka ya 90. Na Tobias Ochola, we were discussing the consistency, the rushing of players. Just before we proceed into your preparation in the 88 AFCON and the subsequent AFCONs that you attended, what do you really mean? Because I think most of our players, and you see our current players, they don't play for long. Do you think it's the same reason of rushing players and the inconsistency, the fact that players move, change teams time and again?
Arocho, I think there are a lot of factors. When we were playing, it was leisure, because football was only helping us to get jobs. Then after getting the job, so now it is upon you as an individual to grow yourself where you are working. Football was on the secondary part, because we were working from 8 to 5, then training was starting from around 5:36 to around 8. Gor Mahia was training at City Stadium. FC was training at Showground. They also had floodlights. So those were the advantages we had then. And by you being given employment, that was stability for us. So you can stick in a club for a longer period. So what we are only getting from the club when we play were only bonuses, winning bonuses, or there's an achievement you brought in, Sekafa, or such kind of things. But you see, it is different from today, because you find these guys are professionals. What they are doing today is their work. So they need to take it more seriously than when we were playing.
Do you think the current crop of players
for me, they are not. That's why I said we are in for a rush of making money so fast at the expense of performance. That is my opinion. Each and every one of us is entitled to
his or ours.
Yes, but because for now the money these boys are earning is huge, so they need to give back what they have been paid. But sometimes they earn more, but they give back less. So it's not nice. then they don't sign enough contract period per club. Because if you sign for 2 years, then now you want to move, you get another down payment, blah, blah. Then you are in business. So that's why our consistency, what we were talking about before the show, comes in. If you are not consistent, you'll never achieve.
Okay. So consistency is key in soccer.
Consistency is key because each and every club, each and every coach has a philosophy.
Okay.
So you have to learn this philosophy because even if you look at Europe, coaches go to pre-season to inculcate the philosophy of his or her system into the team.
Okay.
So that when they come out there with that consistency and the philosophy learned and the cohesion of the team, they start the league on a high.
Okay.
But if you are struggling, you are recruiting when the league is running, you'll just be in shambles.
In the interest of time, let's discuss AFCON 88.
Yes.
You guys were among the very first Kenyans who moved into that showcase, and we saw something. And how come then we could do 3 consecutive AFCONs, yet these days even qualifying as a country is a major problem?
I think the reason is very simple. Those days we were consistent in playing. The players were ever present. So then the teams, if you look at the positioning of teams then, it was either FC first, Gor Mahia second, or Gor Mahia first, FC second, Tusker was third, or Ulinzi. So the teams were ever like that. So the maintenance of players in a particular club was key. Then the performance will be retained. That also helped the national team to retain the same players they recruited about 5 years ago to run again for another 5 years. That is why if you look at what Marshall Mulwa did with the Harambee Stars, winning those 3-4 consecutive Sekafa trophies, he maintained the same team.
Okay.
So
the consistency was there.
Is key because the players know each other. Even if you are low, I'll push you up.
Okay. Now, what is the way forward? What is the solution for Kenyan soccer? Because we've stagnated. The Nick Mwendo's regime came in and there was some fresh breath that was brought into the game. But as you look at Kenyan soccer at the moment, you realize that we are somehow stagnating. What is the solution, Tobias?
I think we only need to go back to the basics and learn what our forefathers or the 4 players did to achieve. Then we pick it from there. Then now we add on what is happening currently. Then we'll pull together. Because if we leave the old players out and we bring in the exciting young players in, they will need time to develop, grow, and have the experience to compete at the highest level. It doesn't come easy. Look at all teams in AFCON. The youngest you'll find they are young players 3-4 below 20 years. The rest are between 20 and 24. Experienced players will come from 26, 27 years to 31. So these guys must be part of a team because you cannot bring in all under 23 for you to achieve. No, that's a big no.
It is not an event, it's a process.
It is a process, and that is why the slogan in the US, you have to trust the process for you to get to the end. If you don't trust the process, then you will not reach the end.
AFCON is on. Who do you think? Which country do you think will clinch the 33rd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations?
This one is tricky because of COVID issues. Like now, I was reading somewhere, I think either Cape Verde or a certain team have 21 cases. I don't know how they are going to start, or it was just a message being passed. Captain Omeric of Gabon is down positive. If they are playing on Sunday, I don't know whether he'll be. So it's going to be a tricky one. But because of the experience and the professionalism they have or they are getting in Europe, they should carry themselves well so that they move into AFCON starting Sunday with a focus. Because if you don't keep yourself well, your team will be messed up. But they are teams with a lot of experience. Senegal is there. The defending champions, Algeria is there. Morocco is there. They are determined to come to the top. Then Nigeria, with all their big names, are also there. But there are also factors that we have to look through, Arocho. Nigeria, they have all the players, yes, but they have issues. They have just appointed a local coach just the other day. It's chaos.
Okay.
It is chaos. Senegal, yes, they were number 2. The last AFCON in Egypt. They have retained the same team more or less.
Even added
more. 17 young who did not feature. The same coach. So that means the same philosophy. So they need to show the Senegalese that they are there to be number 1. Algeria, because they are defending champions and I think they won the Qatar trophy, they still have the morale and the vigor to do it the third time. So I think those are teams that we need to look for. Egypt, they have a new coach, but the Arab world, it's a never say die team, so you cannot rule them out. So those big names, we expect them to move into the next round, so that now from there, now we can now say Senegal with this path, they will be at the semis or the final. Tunisia with it, because if you look at all the tools, there are 2 big teams that you can now say this will be number 1 and number 2 as we go into the next round after starting on Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Tobias Ochola, for visiting Arocho Live. You are one of the players that we really cherish as a program, because we know that you brought us a lot of good times then, and I believe that you are still going to inculcate the same to the current crop of players. Thank you very much for joining me on Arocho Live, na kila laheri.
Thank you, Fred.
Na kuwa ni mchezaji Tobias Ochola. Huyu alikuwa ni beki wa kupanda na kushuka pale, kushoto kulia, kulia kushoto. Na shukran kwa wote ambao wamefanikisha matangazo haya, wakiongozwa na mnasa picha Ken Himan, ambaye amehakikisha kwamba picha zimekuja kwa njia iliyo safi kabisa. Kuwa na mwaka mpya usiokuwa na tafash, mwaka wa 2022. Tupatane tena wiki ijayo. Asante.